What is up, guys? 412 Sports Cards here today, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about when it makes sense to consolidate as a collector. So, I feel like I've talked about it many times on the channel. Once upon a time, collecting was all the consolidation was all the rage, and it was said that's how you collect, it's how you preserve value. Maybe it is if you only cared about money, but I've talked about it many times. As I consolidated, I found myself parting ways with cards that I enjoyed. But last night, I found myself in the midst of a hobby audit. My PC had grown. We had big pickups. This guy right here, shout out this card, show it up close. 2012 limited logos, Flurry, Game Use Patch Auto. That Winter Classic style patch, fuzzy part of the Penguins chest logo patch. That grew with stuff like that, and grew with new pickups like these guys from Bowman U that I've just really, really enjoyed. PC had been growing though, and it was time to trim. And I only put in $25 every 2 weeks into the hobby, so if I want to make new, bigger pickups, something needs to go. And I tried this before in the past with extremely, extremely limited success. Could never say goodbye to the cards that I wanted to say goodbye to. Let's move these into the frame. I could never say goodbye to cards that it felt appropriate to say goodbye to, even though I knew they weren't the holy grails of my collection. Every time I went to sell, and honestly, this one is one that really has bothered me to try to sell. It was at the time I got it, it was just so awesome, and I really, really liked it, but as time has passed, I've realized it just pales in comparison to some of these bigger cards, namely this guy, and the Jake Gensel isn't on the same level of player collecting for me as those guys are. And I'm still able to enjoy Malkin and Crosby on the Penguins, so I think I'd just rather collect them right now. The thrill of cards like this Flurry, this thing is absolutely awesome. The thrill of that, the thrill of the Bowman U, put into perspective that even cards like these, which previously, these have made many cuts in my hobby purging, I guess you could call it. The hobby, the revolving door of cards that come in and out. These guys have stood the test of time for a bit, especially this one. They have been around for a long time. But the thrill of those new pickups made me realize, okay, these cards are cool, but, this one was kind of a placeholder. It was my cool Flurry Crosby Malkin, but now I have a good Malkin. Now I have a good Flurry. And, I have a good Crosby. If I have this insane trio of patch autos, do I really need this more simple triple patch? Probably not. We can actually say goodbye. With with this Malkin, I have this Malkin now with this beak patch. Do I really need this? Probably not. And it also put into Flurry, do I need this? No. And it put into perspective, I don't really need some of these cards now that I've kind of attained more of a holy grail status. It also put into perspective, there's other cards that I have and this one I even just bought. I don't enjoy these as much as I enjoy the other cards. These books, I don't enjoy them as much as the new Bowman U, and I still have a flawless collegiate patch auto in the Notre Dame uniform. So, do I really need these? Probably not. These are just cheap ones, but, I probably don't need these either. It just inspired me to finally make room, get rid of some of the stuff that doesn't matter as much. And, I still held on to some miscellaneous cards like this. You might be thinking this doesn't fit my PC, but it's still a card that I really enjoy. It still was able to stand the test of time. This thing is awesome. I really do love that card. But basically, that's the short. It's a huge PC pickup. Puts into perspective the high watermark of how excited cards can make you feel. The way I felt getting that card, the way I felt opening some of those packages of Bowman U. A high watermark. They set that bar, and some cards that I own, many cards that I own, they still meet that high watermark. Even cards like this Willie Mays, they still meet it. But there were some that fell short. And maybe it makes sense for you guys, after you've made a large pickup, after you've made a very exciting purchase, to say, okay, that made me feel super excited in the hobby. Are there cards in my collection that don't make me feel that excited? If so, maybe it's time to say goodbye to them, free up that cash so you can be ready for when one of those next big, exciting pickups, cheap or expensive, rolls onto your eBay, rolls onto your IG story. That worked for me. It's helped me free up a lot of cash. I'm going to be selling all this stuff here shortly. At least the selling pile, not the ones that I said I loved. Those guys are staying. But that was it. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all next time. See ya!